Oh, there you are, YouTube. Alrighty, number 2. What are we watching today?
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
All right, that'll be a fun one. The new Ghostbusters movie. So before we get to watching Afterlife, we're actually going to take the kids to the apple orchard. So here's that first, but then we'll get to Ghostbusters Afterlife. What are you getting ready to do, sweetie? That's right. What are you getting ready to do, sweetie? Yeah. Is that fun? What's your horse's name? Let me know when you come back. What's your horse's name? You look great. Good job, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. You having fun? You're looking great, sweetie. Doing so well. Good job. You did great. Stay there, sweetie. Mommy will get you. Did you have fun? Whoa! Was it fun? Paw Patrol! Oh. Great job! Way to go! You driving the tractor? Tractor's stuck in the ground. Are you driving? Alright, you got us there safe. Now they're doing the obstacle course. Keep going. Climb. Climb, climb, climb. Good job. Oh, look, we got a rock wall.
Oh, you gotta climb over it.
Try your hardest. Oh. Here, try it again. Good job. Oh. Okay, we'll get Nona over and then. Okay. Oh, a bigger one. ride next? Should we do... Alrighty, let's take a look at these horses. Beautiful. What are the horses' names? Rooster Cockburn? That's awesome.
But there's still a lot of apples out here.
Yeah. Did you hear that? He said this is called crowding. You guys gonna ride the horses again? Yeah. That'll be fun. Look at you. Hey, girl. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. Did the horse sound? Hey, sweetie. Here, stand there again. How tall are you this fall?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. We had a great day at the apple orchard today, but now it's time to get back to our advent calendar. If you remember, we pulled out Ghostbusters Afterlife, aka, I guess, Ghostbusters 3, right? So that's what we're gonna watch. Come join us. Okay, so the film is over. This was my second time watching it. I saw it in the theaters, and then just this time. Same for my wife. We watched it in the theaters together. And then tonight, I think we both still really enjoyed it. I think there are, things that I have like issues with, but I I think just being a fan and knowing this is so much better than the previous one, I like the just uh, the realism added to it when compared to the previous one. When I say the previous one, I'm talking about the 2016 version. Is that when that one came out? I can't remember. But yeah, any of the problems that I have with this one, it's very easy for me to like kind of sweep those under the rug. Not a big deal for me. I guess most of them being, I think they're kind of like age related. Like the Ghostbusters at the end, when they show up, they're just sort of like standing there. There's no real movement to them or posture to them. I think they at least needed posture, because even in the original films, there's no real movement to them, but they needed a little more posture. There's moments where they're just kind of like standing there. And I don't know, just needed a little bit more something, but I also understand you have these mega celebrities. Getting them for this was a big deal. They got other things going on. They're, working yet also retired actors sort of at the same time. So you don't want to do take after take after take or ask too much of them. So I feel like I get that. I understand why it, excuse me, wasn't a very kinetic scene when the Ghostbusters arrived, but it's still very emotional. Everything with Egon at the end still really worked for me. Other issues, well, actually, something that I noticed that I didn't before is with Podcast and Phoebe, that's basically like, it's almost like watching a prequel of Egon, Phoebe, and Ray, Podcast, like meeting each other and becoming besties. Like, that is pretty awesome. And then, I don't know, maybe the brother, I forgot his name, is supposed to be Peter, and maybe Lucky's Winston or something. It just kind of, it sort of felt like some of those personality dynamics were similar. But yeah, I liked the Phoebe Podcast relationship because it very much reminded me of Egon and Ray. I like that. But my biggest problem is still the same thing when Phoebe's on the phone with Ray and Ray says he can rot in hell. Egon can rot in hell. I just thought that was very incorrect to the character. It was very shocking in the theater to see that. And I think that's what they were going for, is something shocking. But it just didn't feel believable to the character. But I do my best to ignore it. Or, find reasons, do mental gymnastics to make it work. But I really think it should have been something less of a fight and more Ray just felt like he couldn't do it anymore. So it was like less of a he should rot in hell, or in more of a, that part of my life is over. I'm just running a bookstore. I can't do it anymore. Egon wanted to keep going. I couldn't do it. I needed to finally settle down. Like, that's how it should have gone, I think. That there's still respect, still love, all of that. It just, there had to be a breakup, but not one that was negative and tumultuous. I don't know. Like, I just didn't think that there needed to be that sort of break. It needed to be different directions, but not out of a fight that happened. I didn't like that. So, yeah, I wish it was just a separation due to separate paths. We're getting too old for this. I need to just run my bookstore. You can go ahead and keep busting ghosts, but I can't do it anymore. I believe you, but I got to think about me. That sort of thing. Personal mental health, basically. That's what Ray's situation should have been, I think. But anyway, still, I love I still love the movie. I think it's great. I love the textures it has. It just feels like a real film. And I like that about it because Ghostbusters does not feel like jokes written down and then people performing them. It has a heavy sense of realism to it in the way the humor functions. And I think this one does a pretty close job. Not everywhere, but it does a pretty close job. Closer than the 2016 version. When did this one come out? Closer than this one. Closer than this one, anyway. What year was it? I don't know. But anyway, again, that's what I like about this one. It has a sense of realism to it, and I like that they held on to that. I can't wait to see where things move in the future. Oh, also, big problem. Ray says on the phone that I know a lot of people have talked about this and noticed this, but Ray says that the firehouse has been turned into a Starbucks, and then at the end we see Winston going into it, and it looks like an abandoned building. But the thing is, like, when he says it's Starbucks, there's plenty of room to cut that line out. They should have cut that out because it's clearly not a Starbucks in the end credits scene. It's just an abandoned building. So I don't know. That was too bad. That there's that inconsistency. Plus, one of the terror dogs is the Sentinel terror dog for a moment. They should have, CG'd that and fixed it because they ended up cutting out the whole Sentinel terror dog subplot. That ended up going away, so it's weird that we see a Sentinel terror dog, even though it's supposed to be a normal terror dog based on the plot we were given. So there's that issue too. But anyway, again, all of that, I just sweep it under the rug because I'm here trying to have a good time and enjoy this movie and move forward with the characters that we got. And I just love everything that they're doing with Winston. I hope he shows up in the next films. I think that will be great. I'd love for all of them to show up and maybe have more of a substantial part in it throughout. If it's just Winston, that's awesome, but it would be cool if all of them did. But I hope Winston gets a substantial part of the sequels because I just think we need an original Ghostbuster who doesn't show up as a cameo. And also with this movie, I know I'm taking up a lot of time. I wish Rick Moranis was like mentioned in passing. Like maybe Annie Potts, Janine could have like mentioned him. Or at the end credits scene when Winston and Janine are talking, he's like, I started this company with one employee. And then he could have said to her, speaking of, how is Lewis? And then it would have been like, the first person he hired for his company was Louis Tully. I mean, with Rick Moranis. That just would have been so cool, such a great callback. That would have been cool. Like, if Rick Moranis is not going to be in it, I feel like he should have been mentioned in some way, and I think that would have been a good one to show that, I guess, the loyalty between him and the Ghostbusters, loyalty between him and Winston. I thought that would have been cool. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Thank you so much for watching, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.